Hello, Shavua Tov. This is Betzalel Edwards, the Rebbe of Carlebach Isbitz, the leader of the Carlebach communities and all the communities of Israel. I have not yet applied for a permit to be the Messiah. However, the Jerusalem Psychiatric Hospital of Kfar Shaul is considering signing the proper paperwork that would officially make me the King of Israel. It's interesting about Messianism. The funny thing is that people who want to be the Messiah often they just see themselves. They don't really see other people. The real Messiah is somebody who's going to be very sensitive to every Jew, and maybe every person in the world. Well, maybe, of course, and not be so concerned with himself. And most people who claim to be the Messiah in the psychiatric hospitals are very, really all they care about is themselves and their own message and their own thing, and they're self-absorbed to the point of psychosis. So anyhow, it's Motzi Shabbos, it's the Aris sorry, excuse me. And I'm trying to get to Tzfat. And if anybody out there would like to drive to Tzfat, by the time you see this, it'll be a few days later. One of the great things about Torah and the Midot, the attributes of the Torah scholar, is not wasting words. Every word matters. There is a power to words. Words have meaning. And wasting a word, it's like the way the Baal Shem Tov teaches, that wasting words is kind of like wasting seed, which is a real problem. So, in other words, a seed needs to go into a vessel, and if it's wasted, it's causing damage to the world. It's taking the power of life and abusing it, creating evil forces. God forbid. However, a word is like a seed. So every word in the teaching of the Baal Shem Tov, Rebbe Yisrael, one is to think about every word of prayer and every word of Torah before it goes out of the person's mouth, and realize the power of his words, that words have a power to create worlds. A word is a world. When a Jew gets up and prays with kavana, with intention, with devekus, with fervor and adhesion to God, then he is just the way God spoke and created. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. So too, the Jew, the Jewish neshama, speaking, that's the voice of the Shekhinah, the divine presence speaking through the person. It wasn't just that the Shekhinah spoke through Moshe Rabbeinu's voice, but even more so that every Jew has the Moshe Rabbeinu within him in a certain level. And when he stands up to pray, that's the Shekhinah calling back to the source, the one and only, and creating worlds. So this is not a lofty poetic thing. This is just reality. This is what happens. So with such a reality, how could you waste one word? How could I waste one word? Speaking creates. You can say a word and make somebody live. You can say a word and, God forbid, do the opposite. I bless you all to be careful with your words. Think about what you say. Think about what you write. And realize that the ramifications are tremendous, because A word can create a world. You say one word to a person, and like years later, their life could be totally changed because of the good word that you gave them. And so, let's use our power in the best of ways. God bless from Jerusalem, Motzi Shabbos, the yard side of the Arizal, the great master of Kabbalah. You say something fast about the Arizal. The Arizal was a veritable angel that came down in Tzfat in the 16th century, 400 years ago. And he received the tradition of understanding the Zohar unlike anyone in the past, and maybe unlike anyone, of course, unlike anyone in the future. As Adam Yevar Yichidi, it was only for a select few. Today it's reaching to a point where there are hundreds of Arizals walking around. Like the teaching of the Kamana Rebbe Shlita, who I'm privileged to be one of his students, is Rebbe Safrin teaches that the Das, knowledge, consciousness, comes out of a person and goes into another person. If I have knowledge and I speak it, and then you have that knowledge, that's a transference of what we call Das, knowledge, consciousness. So when the Baal Shem Tov, Rebbe Yisrael, he would say Torahs, and then the students would write them down, or pass them on from generation to generation, and eventually write them down. And then we find a book, and we sit down and we read it, we learn it, we understand it, we study it, we live by it with love and with fear. Then that what is happening, that the Dat of the Baal Shem Tov and what he spoke, the very words that he spoke, went into his students, and then his students wrote it down. And then the writings of the past generations onto you, sitting in your room, learning one teaching from the Baal Shem Tov and going in, that's, you are receiving the Das, the knowledge, consciousness of the Baal Shem Tov. And if you live by it, that's basically what the Baal Shem Tov is. So for all intents and purposes, you become the Baal Shem Tov. So today in Jerusalem, there's about 100 Baal Shem Tovs walking around. And this is true for the Arizal. There are 100 Arizals walking around. So in the Nartzat of the Arizal, I bless you all to learn his books with love and with fear, and with reverence, and use the teachings wisely. And you don't have to pray with all of the mystical kavanot, so you have to pray simply and connect yourself to the tzaddikim who do know how to pray in the way of the Arizal, in the way of the Baal Shem Tov. And you too will, just by saying the words with love and with fear and with simplicity, will be sending your prayers to the very highest heavens, bringing down the greatest light and the greatest shefa and abundance and the greatest goodness into the world, into your life and the lives of the people around you and all of Israel, bringing us ever closer to that one day when the one and only King of Israel will reveal himself and the redemption will come and the world will be filled with knowledge, Das, like the waters covers the sea.